let's get into it, man. Talking Dolphins, man. Tyreek Hill and more cuts, man. So, let's talk about the lower level guys first, and then we could get into the two big fish, bro. Tyreek Hill and Bradley Chubb, respectively, man. So, Rod, the cuts are here, man. It is Black Monday, Red Monday, Fish Monday, ruin your livelihood Monday, man. So let's get into some of the cuts, man. What you got for me, Rod?
So listen, Nick Westbrook Akine, right?
Yeah.
Look, that's Herbie. I don't feel bad about that, right? It was a cut that had to be made. He was someone who wasn't much of a contributor. James Daniel, Herbie, dude, the guy played 3 or 4 snaps, and that was it. He had to go, right? So I mean, dude, there's not much for me to say about these guys, man.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, obviously. Like, if you don't contribute, you don't produce, you're going to get cut. This is the NFL. Like, if you are not somebody who's familiar with the NFL, you might think that NFL stands for National Football League. That ain't what it stands for. The NFL stands for not for long. That's what it is. That's what it is. So, let's go ahead and address some of the bigger fish, right? And I want to save Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill is going to bleed into the next discussion or the first discussion point of the day. So let's start with Bradley Chubb, right? So Bradley Chubb, he got cut. I was unsurprised, but it was still like, oh wow, like we're here. Like we've done the dance with Tyreek. We knew Tyreek was coming. Right. It was a matter of if, not when, or when, not if, right? Bradley Chubb, there was still a possibility that he might still be on the team. So when I seen that he got cut, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, this is different. Yeah, this is regime change. We in Venezuela, baby. Regime change, baby. we taking this to Cuba. This is a regime change, right? So, Rod, let's go down memory lane. The year was 2022. Bradley Chubb got traded to the Miami Dolphins from the Denver Broncos, and you guys signed him to a $110 million contract extension. Now, I am not saying this to say I'm right. I'm not saying this to take a victory lap. I'm really not. But I just do remember the conversation that we had. You were on the other side of my point, obviously, because you were trying to be an optimistic Dolphin fan. But I remember when you guys got Bradley Chubb, I went on the Denver Broncos Reddit, subreddit forums, whatever, Mile High, like whatever, the SB, every single thing. And there was one thing that was unified between Denver Bronco fans, and that was good riddance to Bradley Chubb.
Never a good sign, man. Never a good sign when the fan base is happy to see somebody go, bro. Never.
So Bradley Chubb for $110 million, and obviously he didn't get all the $110 million. It was 63 that was guaranteed at the time of the extension. But this is what you got for Bradley Chubb. The first year you got 8 games, 5.5 sacks. The second year in 2022, or I'm tripping. He got traded midway through the season. So this is even worse.
Yeah.
What you guys got, because it was 8 games, you guys got 7 games of him as a starter. You only got 2.5 sacks his first year with you guys. The next year, you got 11 sacks. Cool. Shout out to him.
He got hurt, too.
And then he got hurt, tore his ACL. So you missed a whole year in 2024. And then in 2025, you got 17 games and you got 8.5 sacks. So with the Miami Dolphins, in 41 games, you got 22 sacks. That means that he averaged a half a sack a game.
Yeah, a sack every other game, pretty much. Yeah.
For $110 million, $63 million guaranteed. Now, one of the things that Denver Broncos fans said about Bradley Chubb was that he was a no-show and you can't trust him and the production wasn't real. I was fearful of Bradley Chubb because the 1 year that he was good, was a contract year. That if you look at all of his stats, his rookie year he had 12 sacks. Second year he played 4 games, he had 1 sack. Third year he played 14 games, he only had 7 sacks. I'm sorry. His 5th year in the league, in 7 games he had 0 sacks. So he was already hurt every freaking season.
Right.
So that wasn't new. That's what you came with. That's what you got. You got a hurt player that was always hurt. So that shouldn't have been surprising to Miami Dolphin fans. But you also got somebody that was just not productive. he had the year before he got traded, he had 8 sacks in 15 games. So this should be surprising to nobody.
No,
Nobody. What's your opinion on the Bradley Chubb experience, Rod, or tenure?
no. I mean, Herbie, there is no opinion. What is there to say? What did Bradley Chubb do for us, bro? He didn't do. He was just another poor Chris Greer decision. Like, as a matter of fact, this today is just retribution for Dolphin fans because John Eric Sullivan is just cleaning up Greer's mess, bro. Like that's what he's been doing today. And listen, Bradley Chubb was an okay player for us, but considering the injury, he missed a whole year playing for us. And he just didn't live up to the potential he was supposed to have.
At
Right?
all.
He just didn't live up to it. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. It's over. I'm not quite sure if they've already released him or if they're gonna wait for June 1st. Shout out to Jansport Jack. Shout
Oh,
out to Jack.
Jansport, man. We gonna have the Tyreek discussion. Don't worry, Mr. Chiefs Kingdom. Don't worry. We're gonna have the discussion, dog. Don't worry about it. But yeah, as you were saying, Rod.
No, I mean, listen, Herbie. I mean, when you consider the production that Chubb had, which was okay considering what we paid him, listen, Herbie. It was just another poor Greer decision. He was hurt a lot of his time with us, and even this past season, Herbie, where he did manage to play a full slate of games. When you watch the film on him, Herbie, and when I was watching film of the defense, in particular early in the first half of the season, a lot of his sacks were not all sacks are created equal. Not all
Right,
interceptions
right.
are created equal, right? Sometimes a guy is a monster and he's disruptive and he bull rushes and he hits a swim move, he does something. Other times you just happen to get a sack. You get a sack because the coverage on the back end was so good. The lineman had no choice but to let it go or whatever the case may be. And he had a lot of sacks that were kind of just like, oh, it was more like he was a beneficiary of other moving parts of the play rather
Yeah.
than him just being, a ferocious beast, a la Micah Parsons or
Cameron Wake.
Daniil Hunter, someone like that.
Right.
He had luxury sacks, Herbie. So on top of not even getting a lot of sacks, he had a whole bunch of luxury sacks. So Herbie, to see Bradley Chubb, this was a move that had to be made. Whether it's pre-June 1st, post-June 1st, it was a move that had to be made.
So you mentioned the pre-June or the post-June, right? So basically, if y'all waited to do this post-June, y'all could have spread it out. But the way the Dolphins are doing it, bro, the Dolphins are, and we'll get to it because this ultimately leads us to our main discussion point of today's episode, which is spoiler alert, rebuild. They're like, hey, bro, this is a lost season. We'll take it all this year. We'll worry about next year. So
Yep.
the Dolphins are going to be bad this year.
Oh,
Dolphins are
people,
going to
people
be
thought 2019 was bad. Y'all thought 2019 was
Yeah, the
bad.
Dolphins are gonna be with the amount of dead cap that these guys are taking on this year, which I think is at 50 something million so far. Yeah, the Dolphins are gonna be really bad this year, bro. So, before we get to the Tyreek portion though, right, and talk about him as a cut, I wanted to do this, bro. Like this inspired me to go down memory lane because we're all nostalgia fiends, right? We love nostalgia. We love nostalgia bait, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, or just terrible. We don't care. We love nostalgia because it brings us back to a time that we will never get to, man. So, Rod, I wanted to go and talk about the most notable Dolphin releases going back to 2000. And I came to this conclusion. One, on a serious note, a lot of people get cut every single year. These no-name guys that you never think of, that never cross your mind. Like the NFL is a ruthless business. Like I was just going through transaction, waived, release, 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 release. People I don't remember, people that probably never played in the game, but they're real people who have had their lives completely disrupted and completely changed, right? The average lifespan of an NFL career is anywhere from 2 to 3.5 years. There's a lot of people that get cut. There's a lot of people who make the NFL that got to go get a regular job afterwards, right? So we always got to be mindful that there are real people. And shout out to James Harden who said the ugly part out loud, the elephant in the room, which is this is a business. Ain't no loyalty for these teams. They'll cut you at any like it don't matter. So don't
Facts.
be loyal to nobody but yourself and what you got going on for you, right? But in a lighter note, it also made me realize the Miami Dolphins just have not had notable football players, bro, for the past 25 years.
Herbie, if you really think about it, like outside of the early 2000s that had that really great, I won't say really great, but they were a really, really good defense. Zach Thomas, Patrick Surtain, Jason Taylor. Outside of that era of Dolphins, once you go beyond that, beyond Ricky Williams, all that, I
It
mean, we
gets
had
ugly. It
guys here
gets
and there,
ugly.
but
So I just went by. At first, I was like, all right, I'm finna make a list, and then I just went by the names, and I'm just gonna think of some notable people, right? And I'm not gonna go year by year because that's just too much. But things that I had no idea Thurman Thomas was a Miami Dolphin in 2000 who got cut. I didn't know that, right?
well
Like, and
past
it
his prime though.
right, of course, right. But that's notable because the Dolphins just have not had notable people to cut in the first place. Like, no wonder you guys have been so mediocre, dog. You guys have just not really had talent, and if you do, they're well past their prime, and they came here to go to South Beach. They did not come here to play football. So, 2004, Ricky Williams retired. David Wanstead is when he quit because the team was falling apart. I think they went 1-6, and he had to quit. 2006. Okay, now we're getting some people, bro. You guys released Sam Madison and Junior Seau. That was like, yo,
Yeah.
that those are franchise icons, right? Like Junior Seau, yeah, he was more iconic with the San Diego Chargers at the time,
Right.
or Los Angeles Chargers, or whatever you want to call them. But he was a decent player when he was with Miami too. I remember that.
He was.
2007, man. The infamous Dante Culpepper, who should have been Drew Brees.
I think Dolphins fans will. I don't think we'll ever recover from that.
Oh, nah, for sure. And Randy McMichael. 2009. This one is funny. The reason why I put John Beck as the notable for 2009 is because what you guys did to get John Beck. Not Joe Philbin, Jeff Ireland traded a second round pick to get John Beck, only to release him 2 years later.
What a travesty, bro! What a just complete.
And it gets even better because the next year, 2009, you guys traded up to get Pat White, and you released him exactly 1 year later because he was that bad. Jeff Ireland set this team back almost a decade, bro.
Bro, and you know what's funny, Herbie? This is the saddest thing about the Dolphins fan base as a franchise. When I think back to guys like Pat White and Tyler Thigpen and guys like this, there's always this small sect of the fan base who's just like, no, we just got to give that guy a chance. It's just like, no, guys.
Man.
This guy's just not going to work, man.
Y'all traded up to get Pat White, and y'all released him a year later.
Got nothing.
Yikes.
Nothing out of
it. Yikes. 2011, right? Again, these are not great players, but they're notable. You feel me? Channing Crowder, Ronnie Brown. 2012, Chad Ochocinco. Chad Ochocinco didn't even make it out of preseason, dog. Like, again, somebody that just came here to play some football, man. Just chill on South Beach, go to Lincoln Ave, and maybe catch a football on Sunday. Apparently, he beat up his bitch allegedly on Hard Knocks and got cut on Hard Knocks. I completely forgot about that, dog. Like, I completely forgot about that, right? 2017, Mario Williams. Again, there's nobody in the history of the Miami Dolphins that I can remember that came here to absolutely do nothing. He just came here to get a check. Mario Williams on the Dolphins is a canon event. Like, it's a blur. Like I completely forgot that he played for the Miami Dolphins until I did this list.
Me too. Me freaking too, bro. You just go, Herbie. This right here is the resume of this team. A bad one. A poor one.
2018 was your Hall of Fame release class, bro. So 2018, you had Ndamukong Suh, you had Mike Pouncey, you had Julius Thomas, and you had Lawrence Timmons. Again, people like Lawrence Timmons on the Dolphins, it completely escaped my mind. Now, this is when I was actively watching the Dolphins. Again, not as a fan, but they are the local team. I'm going to watch a lot of Dolphin games. They're on every Sunday. I'm like, oh yeah, Lawrence Timmons was on the Dolphins. Came here to do nothing. These guys came here to do nothing. 2020, we had Kyle Van Noy, and 2024, notable obviously was Xavier Howard. So, again, that list shows you how devoid of actual talent the Miami Dolphins have had because you haven't had great players to release. If you guys get name players, you don't get great players. You guys get guys with a name that is notable who were a lot better other places, and by the time they come to Miami, bro, they here to go to South Beach. They here to go to space. They here to go to.
Blue Blazers are the best.
They here to
go to South Florida. Well, Joe Rose says they go to South Florida to fatten their 401k. The boys come to South Beach to shoot dice and. You know what I'm saying? They kind of saw. Shout out to the homie. Hey, yo, Blood, my boy, yo,
Blood. Hey, we still waiting on that intro track, bro. It's been like 5 years. All right, you gonna call me out? I'm gonna put you on blast too, brother. Where's that intro? All right, where's the intro, brother? All right, put me on blast. I'm putting them back on you. All right, you got 1 point finger at me. Here's a couple pointed at you, buddy. All right, but no. So this Dolphins is just. It speaks to what the Dolphins are. Like, I see why you guys have struggled, because there's just either guys come here too late, either guys come here because they're not motivated, whatever it is. This has been 20 years of culture that have gotten to the point where guys come here to just vibe. If they're not drafted here, if they're a signing,
Herbie, the Dolphins are an F school, man. We're an F school in the county, bro. We're an F school.
Nah, seriously, and that's why I wanted to have a positive conversation about Tyreek, right? And let's go ahead and get into the first discussion of the day.